Hello. So today we will be looking at configuration of the Azure machine learning workspaces. Okay. So there are several ways, like if you want to configure the public workspace, then it would be different than the way that I am going to explain today. So I have picked a common scenario. Most of the people use it in the organizations, that is managed virtual network isolation, and the scenario is explained here. So let me just explain this architecture first, and then I will go for the hands-on experience and I'll show you the things in from the UI. Okay, so ideally when you provision the Azure machine learning workspace, at that time you will have to choose this first option, that is about how you want to do it, like private, it's disabled public access or enabled public access. So you will be choosing the disabled, and going forward you will choose allow internet outbound only, because we are seeing that scenario. Okay, for allow internet outbound there will be, I will show you one click or enable one button there, which will provision the managed VNet. Okay, so your workspace is going to be in Azure Microsoft Managed VNet. All associated resources will be outside this, but those are supposed to be linked to the workspace. Okay, and AML workspace will be having the private endpoint to communicate with all its resources associated, and then Azure Managed VNet will be reachable from your uh, VNet on premise. Okay, so this is your on premise network through which you are connecting to the Azure VNet, that is your private network, and from there you will be connecting to the machine learning workspace. Now, if we don't want this way, you don't want to procure one more VNet and from there connecting to the AML workspace, which is in the managed VNet, you want to avoid that. In that case, you can have one more alternative, that is allow access from selected IP addresses. That is what we are going to see today. Now, but it's going to be allow internet outbound only. Now, let's move on to the actual experimentation that I will show. Now I have this specific workspace created, and for this workspace, how is the networking? So in this second option, here I have kept enabled from selected IP addresses, and I have allowed the CIDR block, which covers if suppose my internet service provider next time when I log in changes my IP address to, like, say it is now 190 ending with 190. Next time it is say 260, sorry, it's going to be 160. Then in that case it will be covered in the CIDR block, because this range covers the all from 0 to 256. Okay, sorry, 255. Okay, so all those 256 IPs are covered in this range of 24 CIDR block. So then private endpoint connections. So Azure machine learning workspace has got only one private endpoint created here, which is auto provisioned. Now I will show you the process first. Say I'll go here, I'll create this. How I did that, I'll have to show to you. Then I'll choose this. Then I'll choose I give this name. Then I choose some container registry. Now I'll choose the existing one. Okay. So then go next. See here, I was talking about disabled or all network. So you will have to choose it disabled. Okay, inbound access you will have to disable. Initially you will keep it disabled, and later we will make change from the networking settings to allow the selected IPs. तो यहाँ पर आप आओ, फिर यहाँ पे आपको अलाउ इंटरनेट आउटबाउंड करना है, एंड देन क्लिक दिस. Okay, this will provision the managed virtual network. it ensures that managed virtual network will be provisioned. Next, and then identity, if you want to go for identity based access to the storage, then choose this, otherwise keep this credential based access. So this difference we can discuss in some other video later. Okay. Then next, review and create. Okay, this is how I have created this workspace. Now let's go back to the workspace that I have already provisioned. Okay. Now when I create that workspace, automatically this key vault, container registry which I had created, application insight and storage will get created. Then I will come here and what I'll do is I'll from this disabled I changed it to the enabled from selected IP addresses, because I don't want to provision this one extra VNet, then have an VPN gateway and through which access the AML workspace. Okay, so extra one more private endpoint I will have to provision, through which I'll be communicating with the AML workspace as well as with all these resources. So I don't want this, okay, to be done. That's why I have allowed access from the selected IP addresses. So what you can do is, you know the specific IPs which are going to be allocated to your team members. So from your on-premise network, what are the IPs which are going to be allocated to the team members, and then accordingly allow that specific CIDR block and then use it. Okay. Now, when I do this, then I will be able to launch. And then one more thing is that before I go for this, uh, like that is what I go for creation of the compute, because unless and until I won't create the compute, those private endpoints won't be set up. Okay, so managed VNet actually gets provisioned when you create the first compute. Now, before that, I'll go to the networking of the storage. This used to be enabled from selected all networks initially. Then we'll have to go to the manage. Then this is enable, or if it is disabled by default when you created initially, then you will have to choose it enable from selected networks and add the CIDR here, which was allowed for the workspace as well. Okay. Now, then private endpoints won't be there initially, okay? But as you have made it selected, enabled from selected networks, and then go back. So in this configuration also, one interesting stuff is there. That is about storage account key access has to be enabled when you are using the credential-based access to the workspace, and SaaS expiry interval you will have to set to the 8 days, or say 7 days, 2 days, depending on your security policies of your organization. One more interesting thing is that you might be wondering why I'm talking about the trade based and identity based access again and again. This is credential based access, means the credentials of this workspace will be used to gain the access of the storage. Okay. Now the keys that are there, so using those. If you assign it as an identity based, then it simply means whatever identity I have, that is my mail ID, that identity requires a specific roles to be assigned, and that identity only be having access to the storage. If someone else with some other identity tries to access the storage data from this AML workspace, then unless and until that person don't have these required roles, that person will be blocked from accessing the storage account. Okay, now let's go back and see this one more thing, that is about networking. There is one more thing, allow internet, allow only upload outbound. We are not going to discuss this scenario today. We will discuss this later. Just a minute, guys.